What's going on, guys? Sean Don coming back with technical analysis number 2 on the day. Here we have Mike, Tiffin. So, let's get into it. No nonsense today. Getting to work. It's busy Thursday for me.
It's your heart, right? Oh.
Okay. One more
Heart,
time.
right?
It's tomorrow.
Oh.
Okay,
Heart,
so
right?
decent right leg movement, but shoulders look a little bit tight. So, Mike. Going through the winds. Pretty standard. Looks like you're kind of shifting forwards a little bit too much. As the ball goes behind you. You see your chest really comes forward over this right leg. It just looks a little funky. Try to stay centered. Or better yet, I guess like shifting to this right side isn't bad, but you have to get back over the left as the ball comes through zero, or because you are a little bit heavy, not heavy, but just a little bit too far on this right side. As you can see, as the ball comes through zero, you're going to shift over. You see the hip shift. You're going to shift away from this left side. You're going to shift over to the right side. As you see, ball comes through zero, shoulders and hips are shifting back, and then you can see you're kind of a little bit too far back on this right side. It's not a very powerful position. You're kind of falling backwards, and you have to have a really strong right leg to kind of work yourself out of it. Outside of that, your your shoulders just look a little bit tight. The winds in general look like they could just be a little bit more relaxed, more fluid. It looks like you're kind of forcing things in a way. Keeping your hands up is good, but you also have to relax those shoulders forwards and make big circles with the hammer, not small circles. But yeah, left shoulder leads a little bit there. This right elbow, you can see, kind of pulls down. If that right elbow pulls down, that means there's going to be tension through the right arm and lat. If there's tension through the right arm and lat, that means there's going to be tension through the left trap and shoulder. As you can see, try to keep that right elbow up and out and punch that right hand, elbow kind of forwards. That way you can connect a little bit earlier, because as you can see, that right arm doesn't straighten out until about there. You want that right arm to be straight by the time the hammer gets to zero. So let's go backwards a little bit more. So as you come off the second wind, right elbow up more. Kind of think about external. What would that be? I guess it would technically be internal rotation. I'm not sure. This right elbow just needs to be up, kind of like more like shoulder level rather than down at like your rib level. Throw the ball forwards and use this right leg to shift and set up this left side better. You want this left shoulder out over this left foot. As you can see, it's close but not quite. You need about 2 net frames over, sort of, or at least a solid net frame. So yeah, so you got to use this right leg to set up this left shoulder better over this left foot, and then straighten that arm out so you can connect earlier with the hammer. Since you are a little bit heavy on the right, you see this right leg doesn't really get turning until after the hammer passes, when you want it to be turning with the hammer. As you can see, mostly it's the left leg that turns it first. And then same thing here, a little bit tight through the arms, tight through the shoulders. Push those shoulders forwards. That way you can feel the ball stretch out to the left more. You want it, once again, 2 net frames. I'm obviously speaking about this is 1, that there is 2. I think you get that hammer much more out to the left, and if you get the hammer much more out to the left, it's going to feel much easier, but also harder in a way. You're going to feel more tension, which is good, which makes things easier. Your right leg movement in single support is actually pretty good. You catch super early, shoulders square, hips under, good right leg movement, but because the shoulders are kind of tight, it's hard to feel the hammer. I mean, pretty solid here. You catch, you kind of settle in a little bit, but same thing. That left leg does a lot of the turning and kind of pushing. You can almost see this left leg straighten out And you do a pretty good job keeping it bent, but you can see right here that left hip is shifting back. This right hip needs to work kind of towards the hands, which it doesn't really do until after you see this left or right foot kind of peel off the ground. That's a sign that the left side's doing just a little bit more pulling than it needs to. Really try to feel that right leg working and right hip working towards the hands, and then you want this kind of right toe to come off dorsiflexed, like if you were a sprinter, the toe up rather than toe down. Yeah, because the shoulders are a little bit soft, or just a little bit tight, the hips are a little bit soft, so you don't quite get your shoulders back against the hammer, and your hips don't really do anything. You're just kind of turning with the hammer here. You're not really working against it or working with it, I should say. So because of that, you get kind of pulled around the left side. But once again, solid right leg movement in single sport. Shoulders pretty level, right hip under. But then same thing, this kind of funky left leg movement. I'm not sure what's going on there. You see this right leg kind of like turning down into the circle. You see that? That should kind of stay where it is. So it kind of turns down and gives to the hammer a little bit. Shoulders still a little bit tight. You can see it looks almost like you're shrugging up to your ears rather than keeping your shoulders long and relaxed and down and feeling the tension of the hammer. You're trying to create tension. And you pick up a little bit early here. Pulling back a little bit, tight shoulders, a little bit high in the leg. But still, nice right leg movement, shoulders. Your catch position is very solid. Shoulders level, right hip under, ball in the direction of the sector is really nice. You just got to be your double support movement has to be a little bit better. Same thing, this right knee kind of works down towards the hammer, or down towards the ground. A real funky position here. Interesting. And you come up and through and get pulled over to the left a little bit because you're not getting your hips into the ball. So, not too shabby. Like I said, some good things, definitely. But the biggest thing for you, I think, is, like I said, trying to relax these winds, relax your shoulders, relax, and feel like you just want to feel the hips working with the hammer, not the shoulders working with the hammer. At least that's my opinion. I mean, yeah, right elbow up, punch the ball forwards, relax the arms. You really just need to get that right arm straightened out and then get those shoulders nice and relaxed. And then use this right leg to shift over to the left side more in the entry. Shift back. And then from there, it's just kind of hard to really work against the ball. Strong right leg, strong right hip, strong right side. Once again, just that position, not the strongest. I don't know how much you can use your right leg when it just doesn't look like the most efficient position. As you can see, like like the line of the forces, if you are weird, like you have your foot pointed that way, your shin pointed that way, and your femur pointed down, just a little bit misdirected on the forces. I don't know. I'm not a biomechanist by any means, but I've seen a lot of hammer throws, and generally you want to see this right leg kind of stacked, not so split, if you will. I don't know. So yeah, overall, I kind of already went through this, but relax the shoulders, get that right leg working, get connected to the hammer a little bit earlier. Right leg movement in single sport's really nice. Just got to get those hips into the hammer a little bit more and shoulders back against the hammer a little bit more, which is I'm sounding contradictory right now. You want those shoulders relaxed and pushed forwards, but meaning protracted, shoulder blades protracted, but you want to have your shoulders, like think about like your back. You want to lean backwards against the hammer with those protracted shoulders. It's kind of a weird contradiction, but that's hammer throw. You want to be long but quick and patient but fast. I don't know. So hopefully this helps. Mike, let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to help. All right. Thanks for watching. Sean Don, peace out until next time.